And so Fiona, what are some practical steps that parents can do to help their teens?
Yeah, I guess one of the first things is making sure those basics are reset. So making sure that there are some healthy routines going on in terms of sleep times and meal times and getting out and having some exercise and staying involved with activities that are of interest, and managing device times if that feels that it's getting out of hand. How do we help our young person manage that more ably? So sometimes it might mean, often we try and work collaboratively with an adolescent and try and express that, the concerns that we have. But sometimes it might mean that we've got to set some limits as well. Yeah. And I was just thinking about how parenting has two sides to it all the time, two sides to the coin, isn't there? There's the side that's the care and the nurturing and that, which is what we want to do most of the time. But the other side of it is that being able to take charge when we need to, and be able to have some boundaries and help our young people learn to navigate those. So it's knowing when we need to jump into that side as well.
And I think when things are going okay and are settled, often we don't have to do a whole heap of thinking about that.
Yeah.
And actually, like you said, it's that time we have to take a bit more control and
that Cecil
step in a bit more.
Yeah. And that can be hard to do, but that's a really important part of parenting too.
Yeah, holding those limits.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, if we think about ourselves, when we're feeling overwhelmed or panicky, how sometimes it's really helpful if somebody else says, no, you go and sit down there, I'll do this, I'll take over now. So that somebody else taking charge can actually be enormously supportive and comforting. So how do you think we can do that in a way that works for adolescents who have this need to be their own person and be independent and have a little bit more of fighting back, because that's how they become independent? How do you think as a parent we can navigate taking charge and the care?
Yes. I think quite a natural response for parents is to try, it's almost kind of dismissing. So if your teen comes to you and says, I'm so worried about this school camp, it's really normal. You want to fix it. So you go into problem solving, or you might say, oh no, it's only a couple of days, like you'll be fine, everyone does it. So that real want to fix it, and so you could do that by trying to downplay the worry, or you could do it by trying to fix it or remove the worry is another common one. Again, like you said, we don't want to see our child, our teen, feel these big emotions, so it's really natural to want to just come in and take it away and remove it, which in the long term isn't helpful. So how do we talk to our teenagers? The first part is that nurturing part is really important, and that's validation. So it's just noticing. It's starting by noticing the anxiety, noticing what's going on, being really curious, and that part is really important. And I think even for myself, if I've got something going on and I'm talking to a friend about this big thing that's really stressing me or really worrying me, there's something about that person just hearing you and getting it that can feel quite containing.
Mm.
So if
Or
that,
even the step before that, what's
yeah,
happening?
just being curious
Yeah,
and
just you, yeah.
paying
I've just
attention.
noticed there's something a little bit different, or
Yeah, just noticing, absolutely. And then that, the curiosity,
the listening.
and sometimes as well we think we know what's going on, and you think it's a school camp, but actually by being really curious and just wondering and those really open-ended questions and not being judgmental, you can get a whole lot of information, and it's not about the school camp, it's about I don't know, the car ride there or who they're being paired up with.
So opening some space for that. Yeah. And with adolescents, it's often while you're doing something else, because it feels too intense sometimes if you do that. So while you're doing washing the dishes together or tidying up or whatever, or driving in the car is a really good one.
Driving in the car is quite a nice one, and you're not having to look at each other.
Yeah. So those times are gold, really, aren't they? To give them space, presence, and interest without intensity. Yeah.